is a paid program. Views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of CBS Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside of me, our co-host, Alex Nafusi, Harry Glantz. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hello. Happy New Year,
Hello,
guys. What's going on? Yeah, work family. We're back on the air. It's 2014. Happy New Year, guys. What's up?
Thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. It's going good. Obviously, the last 2 weeks here in Southeast Michigan have been a handful, trying to deal with the ice and the snow. But, hey, this is Michigan living, and today you got to deal with a little bit of fog this morning, so be careful.
I was miserable driving in. I hated it. I was halfway here. I'm like, I got to go back home.
There's a skill to looking at the cars in front of you and their lights, and that's the thing.
You look good. I'm looking at you. Yeah, I see the dress code for 2014 is Steven Seagal, so you look good, Harvey.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You look good, buddy.
Isn't that the charm of living around here for your whole life?
What, that it goes from negative 10 to 45 and nothing? Yeah.
Well, they say, I love the change of seasons. You can get a change of season within a week here. I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on.
The Arctic season. 248-539-9797. We welcome all our listeners back. And again, we want to wish everyone a happy new year. It was about a great year in 2013 here in Southeast Michigan. We're looking for some great things here in 2014 in the mortgage and real estate world. Last year, of course, we had a lot of great guests come on, a lot of new real estate agents and relationships, and builders are back in the forefront, looking for more builders to contact us at Capital and get a chance to come here on the radio and promote your project. There's so many great things still happening here in Southeast Michigan, and we're looking for this great 2014. A little slow now, but we'll talk about that. The weather was a little bit of a hassle here the last few weeks.
Well, it's going to be a strong 2014, and to recap a little about 2013, what did 2013 bring us? Well, last year at this time we said, 2012 was a great new home purchase year, and we moved into 2013, and that trend continued. Okay, there are less and less houses on the market right now, which creates a demand for housing, and there are a lot of buyers, so we had a great 2013 for home purchases. As you stated, Harvey, new construction is back. New construction is back with a fever and a flare right now, so moving into 2014, new construction is very, very strong. What are we talking about interest rates? Well, interest rates were at their lowest point ever, EVER, around April, May of 2013. They've gone up slightly. They're still mid-1960s lows. It's cheap. So the combination of new home sales, new construction sales, low interest rates will create a demand for 2014 for home purchases. And we're looking for a very, very strong 2014.
Yeah, great. You mentioned the interest rates here. There's no doubt. If they went up even a full percent from today's rates, they'd still be at ultimately unbelievable interest rates.
We'll talk about rates anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. So, Alex, so if somebody told you,
it's just stupid, man.
Right. So we've all been in the industry now long enough to remember double-digit interest rates, okay? And then we had a saying that if interest rates went below 10, that would be good. If they went below 9, that would be stealing. Okay, well, look where they're at right now. 4.5 is pretty good, I would say.
I mean, I've told this story 1,000 times. Every time someone calls into the show and starts talking about rates this, rates that, my father texts me and says, I bought our first house on Chestnut Hill on a land contract. This may have been maybe 1980, somewhere through there. And I was at 10%, and I thought I was stealing. Like, dude, I mean, does it really matter if you get 4.5 or 4 5/8 or 4? I mean, dude, seriously, you're talking like $30, $40, $50 a month. Let me tell you something, dude. There are things like if you sit down and look at at what you spend money on every single month, $30 is nonsense.
Right. So, and you couple that, Alex, with the cost of living in metropolitan Detroit, it's a great place to live. We're a major league town. We have major league sports teams. We have, it's a great area to live, raise a family. The summers are beautiful. Here, look out the window. Yeah. The summers are beautiful. And you're talking about a 4.5% interest rate. I mean, really, come on. The biggest problem you're going to have moving into home buying season is a lack of inventory that's on the street, that's on the market.
Well, that's why I dig the new construction. And I think at least the areas that I do a lot of business in, like Royal Oak, Berkeley, Birmingham, you're seeing a kind of a transition right now where you have these people that they bought these houses back in, the early 80s, and they picked them up for 40, 50 grand back then. And now, the lots, themselves are going for $250,000. And these builders are going in and they're knocking down, these old funky houses, and they're putting up, like brand new beautiful houses.
Yeah,
and I think that's the way to go.
You see
There's
that around
just nothing there, man. Stacey and I have been looking for a new house for, you guys know this, for
the longest
a
search
year.
ever.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, there's just nothing there.
248-539-9797. We welcome all your calls here this morning. January 11th? Today's the 11th, isn't it?
Today's the 11th, my man.
Okay, January 11th, 2014 already. Yesterday, of course, all eyes were on the jobs report. Definitely, they were expecting 200,000 new jobs created in December. They only had 74,000. I don't even know how they take these
How
polls.
does that happen?
I have no idea, but I can tell you this. Rates are steady. They're going to be steady probably for the next 6 months. But one of the things we've seen in the mortgage industry, and we're going to get to our callers here, is that the cost of getting a mortgage has gone up, and it's gone up over the last couple of years. And you got to just move forward.
Get the government involved.
Well, what has
Everything gets
changed?
more
Okay,
expensive.
so we talk about what has changed. What has changed in the market? We went from a terrible market, the worst market in history, 3.5 years ago, now to a more stable, better interest rate. Right now, still very low, but you're seeing houses appreciate. The market's coming back. But what has changed? They talk about the new mortgage rules. We talked about it this time last year. We were on TV about it last year. That in the upcoming year, 2014, which we're here now, what has changed in the mortgage industry? You know what's really changed in the mortgage industry? The mortgage industry right now is being held to a series of checks and balances and being accountable. Where we always made our borrowers successful and having them make a great payment and not, having them overbuy or putting them into the super fun Happy Meal, pick your
Deferred
payment
interest,
mortgage.
yeah.
There's something called the CFPB. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is out there saying to mortgage companies and consumers, hey, look it. Lenders, you have to be accountable to that consumer, to that borrower. You have to set them up for success.
Do you have the article up right now?
Yeah,
that you're looking at?
for us, what it means is it's lending as usual. Okay, we never did that. We didn't do subprime loans. We didn't do the super fun Happy Meal mortgage. We did fixed rates in a fixed rate environment. We took a look at ARMs and using a financial instrument such as an ARM for the benefit of our client that knew what an ARM was. All right, so right now I'm telling everybody out there, you know what? Rates are good. If you're looking at an ARM, that means you're not going to be in a house for a very long time. If you're going to be in a house for a very long time, you take a look at a fixed rate mortgage. Unless you understand, the pitfalls of going into something other than a fixed rate mortgage, you shouldn't do it.
Back to the basics. Obviously, it's common sense lending is the way we look at it. There was a lot of bad people in the industry years ago. We've pretty much weeded just about all of them out. There's still some people out there. Of course, we talked about the qualified mortgage and some new rules that are out there. One of the things you need to do is really get in front of this. We talked also last year in 2013 how rent increased here locally in the area. I think nationally it was 3.1%. Rents were up. So if you're out there, it's a shout out to all the renters out there. Take a look at your family, sit down, decide, is this where, are you going to live here? If you're going to live here, is this something that you might want to do? Is there potential actually in now today's market, Alex, to get some appreciation? Could you buy something today and have a wonderful home for your family? May it go up in value over the next 5 or 10 years? Probably.
It's not a commodity. I mean, you're not. I mean, you have to have a place to live, and I think part of the issue that people had, a few years ago is they started. There were people that people like my age, like whatever, people that are 35 years old and have owned 5 houses. I'm going to buy it and flip it and this and that. You got to have a place to live. I mean, and that's it. You can't dive into it and hope that it's going to go up $100,000 in a year and then do something else.
All right, I got Jack calling in from Flint. Good morning, Jack. You're our first caller this morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning,
What's up,
Jack.
I guess I have a few questions because my mom has passed away here recently, and I ended up with a house. It has a mortgage on it, but here's the thing about it is my mom was the only one that was on the title, and my dad ended up putting the mortgage on the house. But she was the only one on the deed of the house, but she never signed for it, never signed for the mortgage. And I'm not sure how that's going to work for me.
Sounds like you're saying your dad might have committed some form of a fraud by signing for your mom?
I kind of look at it
Yeah.
like this, Jack. I would contact a probate attorney, an attorney that's that's used to doing things like that, or a real estate attorney. But here's the thing: the mortgage company is going to expect a payment. I had this conversation with somebody last night. The mortgage company is going to expect a payment. They don't care who the payment comes from. So it's not like if your dad took out the loan and your mom was on the title and your mom's not around anymore, that the payment doesn't come in, and what happens to the house? Well, what happens to the house is the same thing that if anybody doesn't make a payment and the mortgage company or the bank expects payment, it's going to go into a foreclosure situation. So is there any equity in the house?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there still is because because it's got quite a bit of property around the house.
Jack,
And what's
Jack,
the payment on the house?
Well, hang on. Jack, what's your biggest concern right now?
I have That's one of the concerns.
Yeah, who's
the
going to
other
make the
concern
payment?
is the mortgage rate. The rate right now is at like 12.9, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
absurd.
yeah, what you got to do, because you're not, and if there are any other heirs, if you have any brothers or sisters, you've got to get that straightened out in terms of where does that property go now. I'm not talking about the payment. I'm talking about the actual property.
Right.
And your father's not on it. Is he still alive?
No, my father passed away,
Okay.
a while back.
If you want to hang on, we can go a little
Yeah,
bit
hang on
more,
one
but
second,
hang
partner.
on. We have to go
Just
to a
hang
break
tight.
right now, but hold on. We'll get right back
All right,
to
when
it.
we come back, we're going to take all your phone calls. 248-539-9797. Tons of mortgage information.
Hi, Harry Glantz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. Look, if you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Capital Mortgage Funding is a proud division of United Shore Financial Services, NMLS number 3038, Equal Housing Lender. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE.
No one markets your home more aggressively than me and my team. We spend more money on marketing your home in a single month than most agents spend all year, and that gets results. This is Realtor Jeff Glover. Want to see your home listed on the first page of Google, Zillow, Yahoo, or see your home for sale on a billboard? Those are just a few of the things we can do for you. But don't just take it from me.
Hi, this is Mike Craig from Brighton, Michigan, and I called Jeff Glover when it was time to sell my house. And just like the ads say, he gave me a clear and concise plan to market my house, and he delivered on that plan. Jeff got me a great price for my house with no contingencies. That's money in the bank.
Homeowners who sell their homes with Jeff get an average of 98% of their asking price and sell their homes in an average of 23 days. Call Jeff Glover today at 855-JEFF-SELLS. Whether your home is in Novi, Shelby Township, Brighton, Birmingham, Clarkston, or Ann Arbor, Jeff Glover will get it sold. Call Jeff at 855-JEFF-SELLS or online at 855jeffsells.com. Realtor Jeff Glover. A household name. Jeff Glover is affiliated with Keller Williams Realty.
Some of America's bravest warriors are returning home wounded. Here's one of them.
My name is Norberto Lara. I served for 11 years in the United States Army. While I was on a combat patrol in Baqaba, Iraq, a rocket-propelled grenade took my arm off at the shoulder. When I came home, I felt alone. My family was around me, but I couldn't talk to them about what I'd seen and what I'd done. I remember just thinking, man, the way I am right now, I don't want to live. I was discharged from the Army, and I've been working with the Wounded Warrior Project since 2007. You don't have to be severely wounded to be with the Wounded Warrior Project. We do have a lot of guys that have post-traumatic stress disorder. Being able to share your story, I guess it kind of helps you wrap your mind around what did happen over there. Just because you've left the military doesn't mean your life is over. Because when these guys are coming home, I'm kind of leading and training them. Instead of for combat, I'm leading and training them to heal. If I come away with anything from Wounded Warrior Project, it's them giving my life back. My name is Norby, and yes, I do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but I'm okay.
Don't suffer in silence. Contact WoundedWarriorProject.org.
What happens if you die? Does your family lose the house? Do your kids go to college? Can your spouse make ends meet on one income? Serious questions for sure. Hi, Mike Purpura of National Benefit Plans here. These questions and more are why having affordable life insurance is a must. Call 877-734-2200. National Benefit Plan shops from over 70 different life insurance carriers nationwide, guaranteeing you the best possible rate. Call 877-734-2200 or on the web at nbphealth.com. And remember, National Benefit Plans would like to be your health and life insurance agency for a lifetime.
Monster Jam ticket seats are still just half price to see 18 Monster Jam superstars. More than ever before. Roll into Detroit, including Northern Nightmare, Iron Man, Zombie, Monster Mike Foundation, El Toro Loco, for the first time ever in Detroit, Mohawk Warrior, and Monster Energy, plus Grave Digger and Max D. Kids seats are still just half price. Now, at Ticketmaster in the box office. Additional charges being all seats, $2 warranty of show. Tonight at 7, Ford Field.
Right now at the Home Depot, get whole home basic carpet installation for just $37, which means we'll have money left in our budget to upgrade to the good stuff, the soft stuff, the durable stuff. Soft spring carpet, perfectly plush, perfectly tough. Let's do this. Whole home carpet installation for just $37. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Valid through January 29th with purchase of carpet and pad. Minimum purchase of $499, U.S. only. See store for details.
This is the time of year that football fans live for, and there's no better place to watch the game than Hooters. Flat screens everywhere you look, Hooters girls like me and our world-famous wings. Always fresh, made just for you, and served up with a side of postseason glory. Huddle up at Hooters.
We never miss the Extra Point. 97.1, The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show. We broadcast till 10 o'clock. The Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us at Capital. We got people in the office all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Boy, if you're buying a house, the process is worth learning all about. Give yourself that added confidence by either calling us here in the show or getting in touch with our professional mortgage consultants right there at Capital Mortgage. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
You want to go back to Jack
We
Harvey?
got Jack on the line from Flint.
Right.
Jack, you there? Hey, Jack, you there with us?
There?
I got him.
Oh, there he is.
Jack, what's up, man? So, Jack, let me ask you a couple questions, partner. Jack, a couple questions, man. What's the balance on the mortgage right now?
It's at I don't think it's over $23,000. I mean, it's pretty low.
And what's the house worth?
When I checked on the paperwork, the original paperwork, it was worth around about $96,000.
No, what's it worth today?
Do you want to keep the house or do you want to sell it? Like, what are your goals?
My goal is to keep the house because the house has been in my family for a really long time. So,
do you live in the house?
Yes.
Okay,
All right, then
so
you have to you have to make the payment. Okay, so you have to find that mortgage paperwork and you have to continue to make that payment. That's number one. Number two is I would contact an attorney because if you're the sole heir or there are other heirs, then you're going to have to go ahead and have an attorney go to probate and make sure that you and the heirs are in the proper chain of title.
Right.
Okay. So here's what we'll do.
Well, before my mom passed, we went down and had a quick claims deed done, and made sure that everything fell onto me. As far as the property and the house and everything.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're quick claimed on the property and you're on the title, then what you have to do is you have to go ahead and continue making that payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would definitely like to refinance you, though, because that rate's way out of, character. So if the value's there.
Go ahead.
My question is, my credit's not really that great. Would that raise that? I mean, not so much raise it, but
Jack, I'm going to save you a ton of time and a ton of headache right now. It's $23,000. You don't have good credit. There's a ton of title issues. Just keep making the payment, dude. That's it.
Okay.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything's fine, and just pay it off over whatever the term is. If you want to send me some documents, I'll check it out for you and make sure you're not getting hammered on whatever type of program it is. But I mean, there's really based on this conversation, there's no refinance for you. I mean, there's just a ton of paperwork and headache and hassle involved. The best thing to do is just keep making the payment. I love the business, but there's just keep making the payment.
Yeah, maybe get his credit fixed up and do something good for you. Thanks for the call, Jack. We appreciate it. That's some good insight of what's going on out there. 248-539-9797. If you got a mortgage situation, something going on, if you got a relative who's maybe thinking about maybe getting into a nursing home, maybe selling the house, find out who's on title. You got to sit down with family members and make sure you get all those things ironed out. It's always worthwhile to find out what's going on title, find out what's going on with your credit.
What nursing home? Where did that come from?
Well, people move out as they get older.
As soon as my parents are of age, I'm putting them in a home for sure.
Hey, why did Harvey look at me and say nursing home?
I didn't even look at you that time.
What I've been doing is I just text my parents random Seinfeld quotes and see what they say back to me.
Okay.
We got some great programs, gentlemen. As you guys know, there's some great programs coming up. And again, we're going to have a ton of buyers coming out in 2014. I know I'm excited because a lot of listeners have been calling me over the last couple months and really talking about getting into a home this spring. And they're being proactive about it. And that's the key is get that credit report in case you do have some blemishes out there. If you had some situations with whether it be credit, child support we see pop up on occasion, tax liens are popping up on occasion. Get in front of that bus, fix your problem so that way you could become a homeowner this spring. And again, we talk about the lack of inventory here and how it really corresponds when you're out there making an offer on a house. You've got to have everything ready to go. You've got to have your approval letter. You've got to have a game plan. Your funds have to be together. And you really, I say game plan, that's the key is make sure that you're ready to be proactive when you make that offer.
Yeah, any attractive property that's listed, that's on the market right now is going to go very fast. The market is very hot. You have to have your ducks in a row. You have to sit down with an individual and go over your income, your assets. And the number one sticking point in qualifying for a mortgage right now on over 90% of the mortgage applications is verification of assets, verification of funds to utilize for a down payment and closing cost on that transaction. You have to have all the documentation. You can't use mattress money. You can't all of a sudden be pulling, funds from somewhere that you can't track. And we need that documentation. And that's over 90% of mortgage applications right now. It's always about verifying the funds.
Yeah. Go ahead, Harp. What were you going to say?
No, I think you're with
the funny thing is, Harry, is that like I don't care where the money came from, but we're facilitating a transaction that basically Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac is going to back. They want to know. Capital Mortgage doesn't. I don't care. I don't care where this deposit came from, but I'm helping you. Like, we're walking through this together. I mean, there are a lot of hoops to jump through. I took a call the day the guy he emailed us from the show. First thing out of the guy's mouth is, if there's 100 hoops to jump through, I'm not wasting my time. I'm like, well, you're already
50 of them.
You're already
Right.
wasting my time,
Right.
dude. And then he's like, Governor Snyder passed a law last year that you could defer 6 months of payments. Listen, dude, if you open up by telling me you're not going to jump through hoops, and then you're going to tell me that Governor Snyder allows you to defer 6 months payments, your house is in foreclosure. Like, dude, don't roll that with. Don't start that with me, man.
There's a lot of great programs, but again, we talk about these assets here. You got to have these funds because each loan is different. Every program's different.
Every program's different. Every borrower is different. But what is not different is that the rules are the same for everybody. Every lender, every borrower. So you can't. It's not like if you went to us and we said, "Hey, listen, we need to see 60 days of your bank statements. We need 2 years of your tax returns, and you're Joe guy that makes $1.5 million a year. I don't have to do that. I'm not showing you anything. I make $1 million." And I'm putting 50% down.
Then pay cash for it.
Guess what? The rules are the same for everybody.
248-539-9797. We're going to take all your calls again. Welcome back, all our listeners here to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE. The
So
best
all my
mortgage
clients
banker.
out there, did you hear that? All my clients? I don't have high maintenance clients, do I?
Just a little bit. Delinquencies, by the way, hit a 6-year low. It's great news here as the national delinquency rate is now at 5%, the lowest percentage since November of 2008. Of course, everything has changed, and there's going to be continuing changes moving forward. They've come out with some great new programs, and we offer just about every single new program out there, including, I love this one, the 5% down conventional loan. Again, it's not for everybody, but if you have 720 credit or above, you qualify, and then you can get gifted funds from a family member. And again, there's a lot of misconceptions out there in the mortgage industry. There always has been, and there should be just about in anything. You sit down with the professionals. Let us find out what your unique situation is so that we can really service you the best possible way.
So the better credit you have, and it's, I like to use this term, it's a meritocracy. If you have great credit, you're going to get more. More things will be available to you. All right, so you have great credit, you can put less money down. All right, if you don't have great credit, you have to put more money down. If you have great credit, you're probably going to get a better interest rate than if you don't have great credit. But the bottom line is that you have to check your credit, and we can do that for you. But again, you have to have 2 years of income tax documents. You have to have 1 month's worth of pay stubs. You have to have 60 days of bank statements. All right, so
and a few other things also. we'll talk all about that. Every individual situation. Again, some clients here, as you go over all the list of documentation needed. Again, you might have been divorced recently, and of course that would require a divorce. There's quite a bit of information out there, but everyone's got a little bit unique situation. Find out what your situation is. Let's go to Rick out there in Birmingham. Good morning, Rick. You're live on the ticket.
Good morning, fellas.
Morning, Rick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Hey, I've got this, I live in Birmingham. I've got this vacant lot I've had next to my house. I've had it for maybe 15 years, and I'm thinking about selling it or building on it. What would you guys suggest?
Well, are you an experienced builder?
I'm in the trades. I'm not a builder, but I've got a lot of buddies that are in the trades.
Well, I would say that anytime you can improve that vacant lot, I would tell you that Birmingham's a hot area. I don't think you could ever lose your value there. I think the market is going up there. It's a tremendous place. That market is very, very hot. If you're in the trades and you own the property, why not put a house on it and sell it?
Yeah, you guys could probably spec out a house and get it sold before it's even finished.
Why not?
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is it's big risk with a lot of money involved, and if I think I owe like $130 on it, and it's probably worth like $180, $190, something like that. So I could just take $50 and run. Or when I'm looking at the new builds they're building, they're selling on the east side of Woodward for let's say a maxed out house maybe $650,000, but if you got $150 in the property and it costs you $350 or $400 to build it, it's almost a wash. I don't know how these guys are doing when I drive down like Lincoln and I drive down Eaton Street, and you see a lot of these homes that are being built. spec homes, and I don't feel like doing it.
Well, listen, we know your area pretty well.
Yeah,
okay, your area that is a hot area, and I have a friend of mine that I've been partners with for 25 years. Okay, and I've lived in Birmingham. Alex lives in Birmingham. We know the Birmingham market pretty well, and he looked at me and he said, a 40-foot lot for X amount of dollars. Listen, Birmingham's Birmingham, right? So it's you have to do the risk analysis and say, I'm in the trades. I can build a nice house, and it can't be. You don't want to build. You want to build a nice house, and and you're going to get people that if you market it properly, if you market it with a realtor, you market it properly, you're going to get somebody that wants to live in that area and that's going to buy that house. That house will sell. Now the question is, how much can you build it for? You're in the trades. You got to spec it out. You know that, but if you're telling me that if you own a lot in Birmingham, you only owe $120,000 on a lot in Birmingham in the area that you're talking about, Lincoln and Woodward, my man, that's pretty hot.
That's a buildable,
nice
buildable lot.
Do your homework on it. You're in the trades. You know better than I do. So I would tell you, or if you say to yourself, okay, you know what, maybe I'll just take the 50 and run. If that's less hassle for you, and you can make some money that way, that's up to you, but you have to do the risk analysis.
Rick, I don't know how much money you make or what your situation looks like. If you can get $50,000 out of that and dump it and move on, I'm kind of leaning that way, man. Like building a house.
See, I'm a project kind of guy. Okay, I'm a project guy, but. I don't know. It's really about your individual situation. I think that's it. Hey, you're in a great situation. You have a great problem right now.
Hey, Rick, thanks for the call. We're up against a quick break here. When we come back, we've got lots to talk about. Come on back and join us. 248-539-9797.
Ready to choose a career from some of Michigan's fastest growing occupations? In Southeast Michigan, information technology careers have increased 55%, while demand for advanced manufacturing professionals has grown more than 99% since 2007. That growth is expected to continue. Get the education and skills now to launch your career in these rapidly growing fields. Find out how you can become part of it. Learn how you can prepare for a career in engineering, computer science, or information technology Tuesday, January 14th at Oakland University's Anton Frankel Center in downtown Mount Clemens. Get insight from industry professionals and learn how Oakland University's programs in Macomb County can help you prepare for a career in one of these exciting fields. Don't wait. Reserve your spot today at the January 14th information session at oakland.edu/Macomb. That's oakland.edu/Macomb. Oakland University, making world-class education closer to home in Macomb County.
It's a new year, and there's never been a better time to try Xfinity. That's because there's no term contract and no fee to cancel. Try it for 30 days risk-free. If you change your mind or aren't completely satisfied, you can have your money back, guaranteed. So switch today and start enjoying more of what you love. With Xfinity On Demand, you can watch thousands of movies and TV shows anytime you want, included with your service at no additional cost. Plus, you can catch up on the latest episodes of the hottest shows and even watch entire past seasons of your favorites. So try Xfinity TV for $19.99 a month for 12 months and get Xfinity On Demand included. There's no term contract and no early termination fee, so it's risk-free. Call us at 1-800-XFINITY. Offer ends 3/31/14. Restrictions apply. Limited to digital economy TV for new residential customers. Equipment, taxes, and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra, subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply. Visit Comcast.com/guarantee for details.
Right now, a revolutionary weight loss aid is being given out in this area to the first 75 callers. To qualify, you must be over the age of 25 and have 20 pounds or more to lose. If that's you, then call 1-800-368-7295 now. Restrictol has been known to help cause dramatic weight loss, so supplies in your area are limited. Simply replace one meal a day with a delicious chocolate shake, and you can experience maximum weight loss. Restrictol uses natural ingredients to ensure your health and safety. If your weight loss with Restrictol is too dramatic, please only drink a shake every other day. Right now, the first 75 callers today will be sent a full-size supply of Restrictol to try absolutely risk-free. Let me say that again. Restrictol is being sent out to the first 75 callers in this area. Supplies are limited, and when they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-368-7295. That's 1-800-368-7295. 1-800-368-7295.
More than 100 million wild animals are killed each year, illegally. Poaching is just one of the risks animals face at our hands. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor. I grew up in the beautiful rural countryside of Ohio, where animals roamed freely in the open forests. I have a deep concern to help preserve those open spaces for our wildlife friends so they can live and thrive like they used to. Destruction of their habitats threaten their very existence. The best way to protect wildlife is to protect the land where they live. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats, and establish permanent sanctuaries. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE. Or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Sports news all day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Lake Laser. Pistons end a 6-game losing skid, 114-104 at the Palace. They defeat Philadelphia tonight. Pistons and Suns at the Palace, 7:30 right here on The Ticket. Wings on the road in L.A. against the Kings, 10:30 on AM 950 WWJ. College basketball today, number 5 Michigan State taking on Minnesota, 2:15 in East Lansing. Oakland U and U of D Mercy, 6:50 from Callahan Hall. Hear that one at 971theticket.com. Dan Leach on the call of that one. NFL divisional playoffs today. Colts are a touchdown underdog visiting New England. Then it's New Orleans Saints, an 8-point dog at Seattle. From the 1-800-CALL SAM studios, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
In your radio, in your computer, and now in your pocket. Push, click, and listen.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show. We broadcast till 10 o'clock. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can call us here on the show, 248-539-9797. We've got lots to still talk about here. Again, just after the holidays, I know a lot of you folks might consider some debt consolidation loans out there. We've had our resurgence of equity here in Southeast Michigan, and the equity in your house right now, and you might have a higher interest rate. You might have some opportunity there to redo your mortgage, maybe pay off some debts. Better yet here, I know the tax bills came out on December 1st, and a lot of folks put that aside. Now could be the time maybe to refinance, set up the escrow account, do a lot of good things.
Well, now that we got through the holidays, the holiday spirit, you got to pay for those gifts that we got. The weather's been bad. People are going to start getting back into what I call the real world, real work environment coming Monday. Okay, because the weather didn't help this past week, and commerce was a little stalled for the new year. But yeah, you have to get your bills in order. You have to get, you're going to meet with your bookkeeper, your accountant, your CPA coming up to file for your tax returns. You might as well pull all that stuff now. And if you're looking to buy a house, you need to get pre-approved. It's not if you want to buy a house, there's wants and needs. You need to get approved for a mortgage. You're not, unless you're buying cash, all right, which I don't know too many people are paying cash. There's, only maybe 8 to 10% of the transactions in the United States are cash transactions.
Right.
So that means 90% of the people get a mortgage. In order to get a mortgage in this day and age, it is not difficult to get a mortgage if you have good credit. The process is a documentation situation where we need to have documentation. There are no more no income, no asset verification loans out there. That went bye-bye a long time ago.
I think this time of year, it's a good time to kind of do a review of everything. Your whole financial portfolio. You got to file your taxes, by the middle of April anyway. It takes 2 seconds to give me a call and let me look at everything. And listen, man, there's nothing that I can say better than you're in good shape. That's a great thing, man.
And that's the key. Okay, so you talk to somebody on the phone, you get all their information, and you pull a credit report. There are going to be things on the credit report that people are going to have questions, and sometimes it takes time to get them fixed. All right, and that's the thing that we do. We go ahead and we specialize in that client communication, client service, and we'll help you get your credit report straightened around.
Yeah, a lot of families, too, out there. Again, if you have an FHA mortgage, whether you got it in the last few years or really in the last 10 years, definitely want to give us a phone call. Last year was like $91,000 in 2013, converted from FHA to conventional loans. It was really the lowest number they've had in a while.
Is that a real stat?
Yes, it was.
Wow, fancy.
And, I went
nice,
grab some stats there. Also, out-of-pocket cost. Out-of-pocket cost on FHA Streamlines is really low. Most of the loan amounts over $100,000. We can really work with you you on the closing cost. Again, they're very limited on an FHA Streamline loan. There's a lot of great things we can do on those loans. Usually it frees up money. It's hard to show people those right up front, but when you're doing a mortgage, you skip a payment, you can redo your escrow account. It's not a whole lot of money to come out of pocket to save yourself $50 to $150. We see that's usually about it. Again, if you have some equity in the house, it's an old FHA mortgage, you may be able to switch it into a conventional loan. And we have that great program that removes the PMI. So even if you don't have 20% equity, there's a lot of great things you can do to save yourself a ton of money. Just make that phone call to us, and we'll get you set up. Hey, Sean out there in Allen Park, thanks for calling. You're live on the ticket.
Sean, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm calling today. This question isn't as complicated as others, but just give you a brief rundown where I'm at. My wife and I, we own one rental property. We own our house now. Now with the market going up, we're kind of above water now. We refinanced that house. We're all set. We're pre-approved. We're looking for a house and been looking at communities that we've been wanting to move to for a long time. But the problem I'm running into, I'm kind of a sane guy, and a lot of times I look at things as a business, a business proposal, if you will. Am I getting into something that's good? So the question I have is what's freaking me out. And, I talk to, the people that we're working with, and they're assuring me, telling me the market's going to go up. My thing is I've been looking at all these communities, and for me to see where they were at, now where they're at, it just seems like it's kind of a hot time to buy a house.
It is.
Do you see the market kind of slowing it down and kind of going back to where it was? Because I've been watching the houses for like the last 2 to 3 months.
Well, where are you looking?
And honestly,
what market are you looking at?
Well, we narrowed it down to kind of Northville, Plymouth, and Novi. We were originally looking in Birmingham.
No one's got a crystal ball. So if someone's telling you the market's going to go up, they're flat out lying to you.
Yeah, they don't know.
They just don't. They don't have a crystal ball. I think a lot of the areas, especially the ones you referenced, yeah, man, they're hot, but there's nothing on the market right now. So if you want a nice house, you're going to pay for it right now.
Yeah, what we always tell people, it's a lifestyle situation for you. Okay, it's a longevity lifestyle. If that's where you want to raise your family. And I don't know what stage of life you're in, but if you have a family and you're going to be there a long period of time, you're buying a house because you're going to be there a long period of time.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's what a lot of people have been saying. But, this market has just been so fickle. There's a lot of things coming with the new year, with Obamacare and things of that nature. I just
what does that have to do with buying a house? What does that have to buy a house?
Are you in the medical industry? I mean, what do you got going?
No,
are you in the healthcare industry?
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of
I agree.
That
I'm going to help him out. I agree with you, Sean. There's a lot going on out there.
You guys are laughing. You guys are laughing about it.
No, I'm not laughing.
We're staying in the trend of back in 2007 when we first bought our house. I was looking ahead saying, something ain't right here. It's lining up for something to happen, and it did.
Well, you have to evaluate your own. You have to evaluate your situation.
Sean, then don't buy a house. Just stay put.
Yeah, you have to evaluate your situation, and then you have to take a look at it. Where do I want to live? The areas that you've referenced, the schools are good. The area they're stable areas. They're now starting to appreciate again. But I agree with you, Sean. I've said this for 25 years. Since when do you automatically, get a raise from December 31st to January 1st because the calendar changed and went to a new year? And since when does every year your house appreciate? There's no guarantee of that. So their life doesn't hold any guarantees, okay? So all you can do...
But I'm just saying in the next 4 to 5 months, you see the market still being pretty stable.
I see the market not only stable, but I think because of the lack of inventory on the market in desirable areas and desirable properties, they're going to be there's a trend that there's going to be, kind of bidding wars on properties.
Yeah, I've already been in those already, so I know about that.
So sure, that's what I see.
Thanks for staying on top of it, though, Sean. Definitely, you got some equity in your house now. You've realized that. Maybe now is that opportunity. Like you said, you bought in 07, definitely a rough time. But now it sounds like you might have enough equity to make that move. We need people like you. We need you to put your house on the market. First-time home buyer buys your home. And, of course, you're able to buy up and buy that next
Yeah, but also I want him, and we talk about it all the time, I want him to be comfortable with his payment. He's got to make that payment. I'm not making that payment for him. Well, so he's got to lay his head on his pillow and make that payment.
I understand. Like, if you're concerned about the market, like buying in a bubble, then don't buy. Then just stay put.
All right.
It's not. I mean, it says. I don't know. It's not that complicated of a decision. I mean,
Look, recent market research shows that first-time home buyers still who are familiar with the mortgage process still would like to sit down with mortgage professionals and get that confidence. When you're out there trying to purchase a house in today's age, I mean, there's just a lot going on. Recently, a lot of different things came up on some houses that I was involved with on a transaction. One of the things was the home inspection. We see more and more families, especially with the way the weather was, going back to those sewer inspections. Again, families, a little heads up there on home buying, little tip. You're doing the home inspection, you're above ground, you can see everything, but you're not a mole. And I think the cost is down to about $100 or $150. We see more and more families doing the sewer line inspections. You can run a camera down there and take a look what's going on. Just had one recently where they found a major league problem. It was about a $5,000 repair. They were able to renegotiate that. Again, not in all situations are you able to renegotiate it, but you can determine your path once you find out what's going on with the house. So again, there's a lot of great information by dealing with mortgage professionals, sitting down or at least communicating on the telephone with them and find out all the different things that are out there.
Harvey, that's such a great and very understated point. Why would you ever buy a house without getting a home inspection? And if you have to go get that camera and go in those sewer lines and everything, do it. Absolutely do it.
If you're trying to save the $200 or $300 on an inspection when you're buying a house, you shouldn't be buying a house.
Stop shopping, right, and get some professional opinions on how to handle a mortgage and a home purchase. When we come back, all your calls, 248-539-9797.
Happy Repeal Day from Coors Archive Brewing. It's been 80 years since the repeal of Prohibition. The anniversary is celebrated by beer drinkers from coast to coast. Here at Coors Archive Brewing, we're celebrating another anniversary. 140 years since our founder brewed the first batch of our classic American beer. And now, we're celebrating both anniversaries with Batch 19, a full-flavored lager that was last brewed before Prohibition. Batch 19 is a true American classic, rich in color and taste, inspired by an original recipe. It's been fun and rewarding to bring Batch 19 back to life. So give it a try. Enjoy part of the Coors family's rich brewing history and play a role in the rebirth of Batch 19. Cheers. Coors Archive Brewing, Golden, Colorado. Crafted to be enjoyed responsibly.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100 plus degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another mile and a half, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi. You can't see me because of radio, and I can't see you because I'm totally blind. My blindness doesn't hold me back, but I fight to stay awake during the day because I'm not sleeping through the night. Often I struggle to concentrate and just keep up. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But this is not a sleep disorder. It's actually non-24. Learn about the link between total blindness and your symptoms. Visit learnmore924.com or call 855-856-2424.
I had Belvita breakfast biscuits this morning. Then what did I do? Did a sit-up, did my makeup late to train, so I stood up, made a guy think I was into sports. Good points. Had a meeting where we met, then a meeting after that, took a break, and then we had another meeting.
That didn't rhyme.
Yeah, sorry, those meetings left my brain a bit blurg.
Crunchy Belvita breakfast biscuits are made with delicious ingredients and carefully baked to release steady energy all morning long. Belvita.
Morning win.
97.1 The Ticket wants to send you to Super Bowl weekend. We've got your tickets to Super Bowl 48 thanks to Bud Light. If you win, we'll fly you to New York. Check you into the Bud Light Hotel. Then you can kick off your weekend Saturday night, February 1st at Barclays Center with tickets to see a big hello to Brooklyn featuring the Red Hot Chili Peppers, New Politics, Miss Mister, J. Roddy Walston and the Business, and Basic Vacation. Register now for your chance to win your way to Super Bowl weekend in New York. To enter, go to 971theticket.com.
Some complain. We explain.
97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show in our last segment here. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can send us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. The market, well, definitely interested in some retail sales coming up. We've got the new Bernanke's going to be stepping down at the end of January. So there's some news coming up. The retail sales are going to come out on January 14th. And Yellen is going to be taking office on January 30th. So there's some interesting news going out there.
Do you have a prediction for what holiday retail sales are going to be, Harvey?
I think they're going to be just on the flatter on the flatter side.
I think it's going to be flat.
The biggest quarterly drop in underwater homes since the peak is the news that's out there. Actually, now positive equity positions. About 31% of the homes that were in foreclosure have some positive equity now. So there's some. Let me lower that down there.
You got that there, bro?
Yeah, not bad. There's a drop. So anyways, again, the equity position in your house has improved across the country. Regionally here, we've seen some tremendous opportunities. There's more opportunity now for those families to sell their house.
I think it's
that's the key.
I think it's hilarious that, a couple of years ago, we're on the air and people are calling up and saying, I'm going to walk away, blah, blah, blah. You're calling like threatening, like what you're going to do. I don't really care what you do, dude. And 36 months later, the values have come back so hot and so quickly.
Yeah, but Alex and Harvey, and that's the thing.
These people, you're still renting your house, and you just keep making your payment.
Yeah, but 3.5 years ago, and I don't know if people understand the magnitude of what we went through as a country at that point in time. You're talking about the biggest recession since 1929. In many respects, it was way bigger because of the amount of houses that went into foreclosure. You're talking about our whole economic system was threatened at that point in time. So people were panicking. But now you fast forward it, and you just said it, okay? Nobody thought it was going to come back this quick.
If you just grind through it and stay the course, like I said, Detroit.
It's easy to say, my man, but Detroit, it gets hit.
Stacey and I ground through it. I'm in the mortgage business and I ground through it.
We get hit hard here in Detroit, and then when we come back because we're survivors and we always do that. All right, but yeah, it's tough, and now things are back and things are flourishing, and the market. There are certain segments. You talk about a bubble. Yeah, maybe there are certain areas. Sean called in from Allen Park. Maybe there are certain areas that we need to be cautioned by. A 40 by 110 lot, you build a house on it, you're going to pay $650,000 for a house.
People are paying for it, man, and it's okay. Hey, maybe some areas are nicer than other areas.
So what does that tell us? The market dictates what goes on.
It's
That's right.
Simple economics.
It's the market. There's nothing I can do. Okay, to make people go ahead and apply for more mortgages. The market dictates that. Right.
I do think that those 40 by 110 lots that people are dumping $500,000 on those houses, I think that's insane. But to me, great area. I'm not knocking anything. I just think that's absurd.
Location. Say that in Manhattan. What in Manhattan would a 40 by 110 lot go for?
A lot.
Okay? Yeah.
$2 million. Yeah.
So how am I doing for you?
Action, man.
I threw out there a little bit of buyer's tips, a little 101, misconceptions, get that home inspection done. A lot of misconceptions out there about how much money is needed to purchase a house. Again, there's basically like three components of a home ownership. You've got your down payment, unless it's a VA loan that requires zero down payment. And then you've got your closing costs and you're setting up your escrow account and your homeowner's insurance. These three components really are pretty easy to digest, but it doesn't take a whole lot of money. See what that number is. I know people just throw out numbers. You don't need 20% down to purchase a house. You need some money typically to purchase a house. Some of it can be gifted. And the key is to get that confidence and sit down with the professionals. We want you to come in the office. So, again, if anyone out there interested in purchasing a house, if you're currently renting, be sure to give us a call. Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Sit down. Get that added confidence. Even a 15, 20-minute meeting at the office or whether or not you like to communicate over the telephone, it's really getting that confidence to move forward and do the right thing for your family. See so many great opportunities out there. So
well, it's about doing your homework, right? So you got to do your homework. So there are no surprises. You don't get to run around. There are no surprises, and that's why we call this the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Show, because we talk straight to people and we tell them. And you know what? Sometimes people like it. Sometimes people don't.
Sometimes people don't like me.
But
it happens.
But you're going to get reality, and you have to have options. You have to sit down, and that's why in our industry things have changed. Everybody has to be licensed. All right. If you're working for an independent mortgage lender, you have to be licensed, and that's why. Why wouldn't you go to somebody? If the person that cuts your hair has to be licensed, why wouldn't you go to a licensed professional in the financial services industry?
That's great. I never even thought of that, Harry. Right. It's just to go get your hair cut, you have to be licensed.
Well, that's because he has no hair.
When was last time you had a haircut, bro?
What do you mean? This morning with a razor. 248-539-9797.
I do think it is. I mean, whether it's obviously the licensing is a big deal, but it's you go to somebody that you trust. I mean, listen, I've said 1,000 times, if you Google lowest mortgage rates, you're going to get somebody that's going to undercut my rate by an eighth or a quarter, whatever. Okay, maybe you'll close at that. Maybe you won't. Maybe they tell you need $5,000 at closing. You'll need $10,000 at closing. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's about looking someone in the eye and shaking their hand and saying, "Hey, man, this is what we're going to do." And you just walk through it. It's a very simple thing, man.
We flat out tell you the straight scoop here. I mean, come on. Yesterday, to see even, we didn't know what those unemployment figures are going to come out. There's no crystal balls out there. You just have to have the facts in front of you and then make wise decisions moving forward. Again, if you're out there trying to purchase a house, thinking about it, the key is sit down and get all your ducks in a row first. Again, so many misconceptions out there where the funds are going to come from, how gifts work from family members, what program you qualify for. So you really just got to get it all ironed out and give yourself, all that added confidence.
And also, because the market is going up so rapidly, sometimes if you're looking to buy a house, and let's say you're buying a $200,000 house, right? You agree with it, and everybody says, well, what's the market value? It's what the buyer and seller agree upon. But that doesn't mean that we're going to lend money on that property if it doesn't appraise. So you can buy, and not in all areas have values caught up with sales, right? So you have to go to a professional. We know the markets, and we'll do the homework for you. All right. If you meet with us, Alex and Harvey are going to do the homework for you.
I knock on wood, haven't had that many appraisal issues in the last probably 6 or 8 months, which I think is a good thing. And it's like I say, listen, I just want whatever the value is. Don't bring it in too high. Don't bring it in too low. Just whatever the real market is. And I think that's good. But Harry, you had a great point. The market's it's gone up so quick. There's a lag by the time these houses sell and they get recorded to support that a new value. I mean, it really has been. I mean, it's seriously like I feel like we woke up one day and all of a sudden the market was back.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like in a 30-day period, all of a sudden it was back.
Time flies. Things were tough in 2007. People kept saying in 2007, how many years before we come back? How long is this going to take? Well, it took about 3 or 4 years to come back. Definitely 4 years. Hey, John, out there in Shelby Township.
Or 5 or 6.
Thanks for calling in. Right here.
Hey, how you doing, you guys?
What's up, man?
What's up, my man?
Hey, I just had a quick question for you. I'm 26 years old. I'm a first-time home buyer, looking into it next spring when I'm getting married. And my question is, how much should I have saved in order to move into a house, not including the down payment, like all the additional fees that go with that?
That's a great question, man. I mean, I've owned a few houses. I mean, aside from the down payment, I mean, I'd like to see you have 6 months of house payments saved up, just because, God forbid, you lose your job or something. You said you're 26. John, let me tell you, man, when you buy your first house, you'll be amazed at all of just the stuff you need. Like, you're not gonna be able to walk into Home Depot for 2 years and not spend $100. I mean, I need a rake. I need a shovel. I need garbage cans. Just stuff.
In regards to the components for you to purchase the house, though, if you're trying to focus on that, the closing costs, we'll actually give you a call after the show, John. What we do is we'll qualify you, just give you a sort of a hypothetical of maybe you want your house payment to be, let's say, $1,500 moving forward. We'll show you how much of a house you qualify for. Again, if that number ends up being $180,000 or $200,000, most homes in $200,000 price range, depending upon what city, we can sort of pinpoint it. We can pull up some information that'll show us what the average taxes are based on the square footage and what cities you're looking for. So you've got that component there to come up with that 1 year of your property taxes, whether you set up an escrow account or you're doing to pay back the seller a proration of taxes, and again, budget for those property taxes moving forward.
Yeah, and he's going to have other things. He's going to have to buy furniture, their utilities, or, you want to have a quality of life. And are you going to stay out in Shelby, or are you going to stay out in the northern Macomb County area?
Yeah, probably northern Macomb, probably northern Sterling Heights is what I was thinking.
Okay, Macomb County's real hot right now. It's one of the hottest areas in metropolitan Detroit. Values are coming back. There are a lot of opportunities out there, and it's a strong area.
Okay, excellent.
John, we're going to give you a call.
I'll call after the show, buddy. Thanks,
All right,
John.
thank you.
See you, man.
All right, that's the key there. Anyone who's looking to buy a house, I like that moving forward. Again, he's thinking about buying a house in the springtime. Let's get him set up.
Macomb County's hot right now. It led the way in the Tri-County area for home sales, percentage appreciation gone up. It's amazing what's going on out there.
Yeah.
A lot of new construction as well.
There's a ton of new construction out there, man.
Yep, a lot of new construction.
Well, it's like, I'm sorry, go ahead, buddy.
I was just going to throw it out. 248-539-9797. We've got some open lines here if you want to sneak in.
You know, Harry, you and I were talking about, we're joking about, buying those small lots, for whatever, $250,000 and, throwing up, a house that's, 3,000 square feet and taking the entire lot. You got to like the east side like that? Oh my God! You get triple the house for half the price.
Triple the house and triple the land, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's a hot area, man.
I took Van Dyke North recently, and man, between 24 mile north of there, it is a ton of vacant land. They're starting to build.
It's nowhere near where you live. Where are you doing out there?
I was hitting a cider mill.
Oh yeah, man!
End of the cider mill season.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's nice, again, you see.
You had a haircut?
I didn't even need one. But there's all that vacant land out there and the opportunity, again, you have to decide where you're going to live, how much money you're working with. And again, we love that. It's so much fun and exciting, really, when you sit down with a home buyer, whether he's moving up. And I love people that have a plan. And it's just, this is how it works. If you have a plan, you generally will succeed because you got it all laid out. You can figure it all out. It's the folks that one day sort of wake up and say, hey, I want to buy a house. And now the credit's messed up. And now there's a lot more work to do.
Well, there's nothing more satisfying than getting with a first-time home buyer or anybody buying a house, and you can help them get into the house that they want. It's very self-satisfying.
And do it the right way.
Yeah. It's just a great feeling.
All right, we welcome all our listeners back. This was our first show for 2014. We're going to have lots of great shows and special guests coming forward. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage all day long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Send us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. We'll see you next Saturday here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show.
Hi, Harry Glanz for Capital Mortgage Funding. Rates are at historic lows, and they're not going down to zero. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE and let our award-winning staff help you save money. If you're looking to purchase a new home, refinance your existing home, and you want to save money, call 1-800-LOW-RATE and take advantage of these historic low rates. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Capital Mortgage Funding is a proud division of United Shore Financial Services, NMLS number 3038, Equal Housing Lender. What are you waiting for? Call 1-800-LOW-RATE.
It's playoff time, and Bovada.net has your odds for the divisional round. Seattle, the favorite to win it all, welcomes New Orleans to town. Set as just over a touchdown favorite with a total in the high 40s, Seattle and its number one defense looks to repeat its midseason shellacking of the Big Easy. In the late game, New England is a touchdown favorite over Indy with the total in the low 50s. Can luck prevail again for Indy this weekend? Bovada.net is your source for live odds and props on all major sports. Bovada.net. Raise your game.
Hi, I'm Dr. Regina Benjamin, U.S. Surgeon General. As a family doctor, I've seen the terrible impact of a premature birth. Losing a baby is one of the hardest things a family can go through.